DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Tesoriero.
Here.
Counselor Wilmot.
Here. I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of the March 5th, 2018 committee meeting. Counselor Tesoriero, Counselor Wilmot.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tesoriero.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes. Is there any old business to discuss in this committee? Seeing none, moving right along to new business under authorization. Item number 1, Carolyn Anderson, Animal Control Officer, requests permission to accept a monetary donation made to the Oswego Animal Shelter in the amount of $500 by Mr. Francis Cole.
Hello. We had an elderly gentleman come in at the end of the week before last, and he brought in a stray cat and gave us a check for $500 to help with the animals.
Any questions or comments on this easy one? All right, thank you very much. Motion? Counselor DeMassey, Counselor Hill.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill. Counselor Tesoriero.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes. Item number 2, Kevin Farracole, City Attorney, seeks approval from the Common Council to enter into a sports management contract with Champions Events LLC located in Syracuse, New York, for the operation and management of the Legends Fields commencing with the 2018 softball season. Mr. Farracole?
Mr. Chairman, good evening. The Champion Events LLC, I believe we have representatives here tonight. Mr. Justin Alsernault, who's one of the members of the organization, and been working with the local softball organization. I know that, Mr. Chairman, you've facilitated some of that as well, in an effort to get softball up and running again in the city of Oswego. I know I'll leave it to you if you want to talk about the great heritage, but as I think I played 1 year in a league, but I remember as a kid growing up, softball was it, and Oswego was truly on the national map for softball, professional and otherwise. So it's gone by the wayside over the last several years. We have facilities that are available. We have organizational members that want to revitalize the leagues. What we don't have are the resources available to maintain the fields in the manner in which they require in order to field all of these teams and leagues. And so, like much of what the Barlow administration and others have done, is to find private sources to help manage these fields and to assist in the organization of in this particular case, the softball league. So in steps Champions Events LLC. They're located in Syracuse, New York. They have a history of organizing and running leagues, baseball, softball, and otherwise. They are proposing to operate and manage the Legends Fields, commencing with this 2018 softball season. I know that they've had discussions with the local softball organizations, and there is an endorsement of this organization. What's being proposed, and certainly where the council comes in, is for the specific approval of this arrangement. It's being provided or proposed as a 3-year contract to operate and maintain and manage the fields and the leagues themselves. There is 2 issues that I've anticipated that maybe people will raise. Number 1 is, can we do this? And the short answer is yes, and the explanation I've provided in your memo, but for the public, under the city charter, any city officer, in case myself as city attorney, is authorized to recommend to the Common Council that it is impractical to procure work as services that may be required by bidding, and thus seeks approval to proceed with this sports management agreement with Champions Events LLC for the operation and maintenance of the Legends Field. The total cost for this 3-year contract is $20,000 for the management aspect of it, and then there's a cap each year of the 3 years for the electricity to keep the lights on of $10,000. Now, this is normally has been budgeted in the city's budget each year for the city to maintain. In this case, it would be essentially to turn that management and the expenses over to the to Champions Events to run on behalf of the city and the softball league. The other issue that some may question is whether sports management is even, or whether this type of agreement is even necessary to be bid out competitively under our procurement or purchasing policy. One of the exceptions under the general municipal law is for professional services, and those services have to be unique. They're generally defined to include services rendered by licensed professionals like attorneys or engineers or accountants, but other services that require specialized and technical skills, expertise or knowledge, and exercise of professional judgment and a high degree of creativity. And I think that's important. That's not my words. That comes right from the general municipal law. And therefore, I do think at this late stage, here we are in March, it would be impractical to go out to bid for services like this. But this company submitted a pretty extensive proposal, and we asked the question directly, and I invite you to as well, to the representatives tonight. You know, who else does this in the area? And the short answer is nobody. And you know, we did do some research and could not find other sports management companies of this nature in central New York. So we do believe that the timing of this, in order for the softball season to really get up and off the ground and running, to have a private public partnership with this organization and entering into a sports management proposal is an appropriate thing to consider. I know that Mayor Barlow supports this. I've given you the path at least to consider this, and I'm happy to answer questions or to turn it over to the folks at Champion Events to further explain their services and to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Councilor. At this point, I want to ask the council if they have any questions for Eric Coley. Seeing none, I would like to ask the event coordinator, the event person, to come up and give a brief dissertation or explanation of what you're going to do for the city.
Sure. My name is Justin Arsenault. With Champions Events, I'm alongside here with Jerry and Mike Morocco, who's part of our staff. They're wearing the same shirt today. We just noticed that. But we've been around for about 6 years, and we run tournaments and leagues all over the state, from Buffalo, Batavia, all the way down into Long Island. This is from youth 8 and under all the way up to 17U, both baseball and softball. We're heavily involved in high school. We're also heavily involved in scouting events as well. We're also heavily involved in maintaining fields, facilities, complexes, and one of the main reasons why a Syracuse company is in Oswego, New York today is because one of our staff members shared us a Facebook message about softball in Oswego and the facility. And we have so much going on, we really didn't think much of it, but he begged for us and pleaded really for us to come up and come to the first meeting. I think it was at the McRobey building? At the McRobey building. And, you know, we were just there to listen. We didn't ask any questions. In fact, you were saying that, were you guys even there? And we were right second row. And what we noticed was the passion. We didn't care so much about team count in the previous years, but we saw what the passion was like. And we said, my gosh, you know, all they need is a little bit of help, and we can absolutely provide that. Website, registrations, listening to the board when they put stuff together. maintaining the fields, cleaning up the bathrooms, having a hot dog at the concession stand. It's not too much to ask. We can do all those things. We have over 40 years of experience with that. So we put in, talking with, you guys and Mr. Barlow, we felt that, we can put, our name into the hat and at least extend a hand. So that's kind of why we're here now. And we're excited to be here. We're excited to help. So, any questions?
Well, the way I read it is, we have a dedicated softball account, it has approximately $28,000 syndicated, but the contract with this company is $20,000. So essentially, there'll be money left over in there. And we're not here to discuss what we're doing with that. We're just here to discuss. That's what I wanted to make sure of. Separate, $28,000, $20,000, separate. Right, the numbers. Yeah, we'll have a balance up in that account. One of the things I did want to ask you about, though, is at one of our meetings you mentioned the opportunity. Your company kind of specializes, for lack of a better word, promoting tournaments for youth.
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
And that, I'm a member of the Promotion and Tourism Advisory Board.
Okay.
Piqued my interest.
Absolutely.
I know from my involvement, my daughter, that certainly when there's youth tournaments, you have families moving around, they're staying in hotels, they're eating in restaurants, they're shopping in stores, buying gas if they can leave.
Sure.
That to me is important.
Great economic impact, yeah. So
But you can't really do it this year, correct? I mean, the timing.
summer's pretty, yeah, spring, summer's pretty tough. Maybe the fall. We think we could probably put something together in the fall, but going
That's
forward,
because primarily you told me because the tournaments have already been.
correct. It'd be
Set.
tough to gain registrations when, usually schedules are put together for organizations within 6 to 10 months previous. So it'd be tough, but the fall is definitely something we're considering.
And for next year, the following year.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Champions Events is extremely well known. Our reputation is solid, and it's just being very confident. We do a really great job. We're very professional with our services and what we do during the events. We make sure, in terms of, we make sure things are cleaned up. Our staff is professional. We do the T-shirts on site. We make sure everything looks great in terms of the menus, how they're presented. So that's what has basically built our company and why there's so many teams. We've grown from, our first year with 30 teams 6 years ago to now we're over 500 teams, registrations a year. And we expect to get more than that. We love, with a 6-field complex, with lights, at a $10,000 budget. We will bring that here, no doubt about that. And it's going to be great for the city of Oswego. We can promise you that. The restaurants, shops, hotels, you can bet. So there's a lot of, we talk about all the time. There's a gem over there that just needs a little TLC, and it's going to be great for everyone involved, for sure.
Bring up a good point. I just want to reiterate Councilor Caracoli brought it up, but again, the public, I want you to know that you're agreeing to this contract. The expenses for utilities, for lights primarily, is capped at $10,000 a year.
That's correct. Yeah.
The city will pay no more than $10,000 a year for those lights.
That's correct. Yeah.
So we're protected as far as just in case you guys go crazy with the lights up there. We're not on the hook for anything past $10,000.
You will not be. Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? The general public, Mr. Bosch, would you like to say something? We have a representative from the Oswego Softball Hall of Fame who would like to say a few words.
Yeah, I want to start out stating I'm in favor of this, but I want to give you a little brief history of what's been happening well, I've been playing softball 54 years. I don't go back that far. But let me introduce myself. I'm 74. I'm not playing anymore. Rob's still trying to catch up to my record, but there's a way to go. I was 10 years as varsity baseball coach. I am president of the local Hall of Fame. I am in the state Hall of Fame. And I've been over 20 years involved in softball, including scheduling, everything else on the administrative side. In September 2005, and somewhat before that, John Gozick came up and said the council is not going to have softball in Oswego anymore. And they've been threatening that for 2 or 3 years, so I sort of ignored it. In December of 2005, Billy Dunsmore called me in, met in his office. He says, I played ball with him, so he says, Bill, it's serious. We're going to lock the gates unless you take it over. We'll rent it to you for $1. Well, at that time, we had $60 in our budget. And myself, Butch Ponzi, who a lot of you know did a yeoman's work with me, and Scott Canova, who did eventually pass away with cancer. I was semi-retired, and Butch and Scott were retired, so we were able to put all the work up there to run the fields. Scott passed away, and it came down to 2 of us, with Wendell Blanchard helping out a little bit, and we convinced the YMCA to help out if myself and Butch would continue working up there. So the Y worked out well for a few years, but the hard part was we never knew from year to year what was going to happen. Each year, as we went along, the Y got a new director, and they decided they weren't going to sponsor anything off-site. So we went to meet with the mayor at that time and the council, and they decided they would mow the fields and maintain them, no lights, but we would do all the scheduling and so forth. So I helped form a committee, very similar to the one we have now. And, you know, people are working. They got kids, everything else. There's no parents coming around to help like there is in Little League. After a while, it boiled down to just 1 or 2 people. And each year, we weren't sure if the city was going to sponsor it another year, so we started losing teams left and right. You know, it comes February, I have a team. If I'm not sure, I'm going to run off to Fulton or Baldwinsville or whatever, at least to get the spot to play. So the teams came down to 1 men's slow pitch league last year. And, you know, I feel this is a good opportunity to build the program back up again. You know, I haven't researched the company, but everything I've heard about it, that, you know, they've built softball up with tournaments and everything else. So I would strongly support this. Thank you.
Anybody else? I do want to commend the council. They did take this topic very seriously. Did go up to the complex on a very cold Saturday morning and took a tour of the facilities. The wind was howling, dripping with snow. It was cold. But, we saw for our own eyes the property and the facilities. And as I think you mentioned earlier, there is a gem there. It just needs a little polish. So I'm certainly hopeful that we can get back to having a facility that we're very proud of. With that said, if there's no other comments or questions, can I have a motion? Councilor Lisbury.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor Domessi. Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
And we need a resolution.
The resolution? I'm sure we can get one from our city attorney. Thank you. Item number 3, moving on to the engineering office request approval of change order number 2, the general contract with W.T. Malone Trucking and Excavating Incorporated for the West Side Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Area 2, in the amount of $0 for extra work for unforeseen conditions. Mr. Johnson, would you like to expand on this?
Yeah, this is a consent decree program, and it's basically, excuse me, sewer rehab work, including cleaning, televising, liner work, rebuilding the manhole chimneys. We had to get quite a little bit of work done out on the NRG property and within the 345 kV yard and the National Grid property. And there was a number of changes for different all different items throughout the contract, including moving water lines, fixing water lines, curbs, a number of different things. They're all in your packet. They've all been reviewed. They were reviewed by the engineer and they're reviewed by our office, and it's a $0 change order.
Just for the public information, I think it's important for you to explain why it's zero change because of the output of the contract.
These projects all come with a out of sequence work fund. I think this one was for $250,000. So the money is in the contract. It doesn't mean you have to spend that $250,000, but it's there if you need it. And so it turns out to be consequently a $0 to the overall sum, which was $2,058,000. So this $49,000 comes off of that additional work part of the contract.
And it's basically, it's a standard operating procedure when you're talking about digging up roads and old pipes that are 100 years old. You never
Right.
use the money.
The consent order is, we're under a time frame. We don't have time to stop, contract, send them home, bring them back, get delay claims and such. So you have to deal with situations as they occur. And so we document them and we inspect them, and eventually they end up here for approval.
Questions for Mr. Johnson, council? Anybody in the public domain? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Hill? Councilor Massey?
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tetzeraro.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes. Item number 4, the engineering office request approval of change order number 2 for the contract with W. Malone Trucking Excavation Incorporated for the NYS 248 Slope Stability and Roadway Reconstruction Project in the amount of $72,790.45 for item reconciliation. Mr. Johnson?
Okay, now this contract is quite a bit different. This is a standard DOT contract where you pay by the item, and each item in the contract has a bid price to it. So as you move along through the contract, we have a construction inspector on the site throughout the whole day. But, you know, they work through B&L as part of what we pay them to do, and they have to tally up all of the items as the project goes along. Sometimes they don't go in for the first payment, they go in at the end. So if there's more excavation than was in the original quantities, then that number changes. Some of them change up, some of them change down. And so if you go through the itemized, the detailed itemized section that was in your packet, you'll see that some of them go down, some of them go right to 0 if they weren't done at all. But for 90% of the items in a bid like this will change from the beginning of the job to the end. So this change order that's in for today at $72,000, we're on the hook, the city is on the hook for 5 cents on a dollar for this project. So that, you know, I didn't do the math, but we're on the hook for 5 cents on the dollar. This project is still under the original state estimate, which was $1.7 million, and so this again is the quantities. They've been verified, they've been double checked, and the work is in place. There will be one more one more resolution to close this project out. In the spring, they're going to come back. They have to lay the final asphalt. They need to put one more chain link fence up, some landscaping, and the project will be completed.
At this point, as of today, after this resolution, the cost currently stands at $1,564,700.
That's correct.
Questions?
No, no. B&L is our design engineer for the project. They were approved through the state program, and we hired them to do the construction inspection. So they had a resident engineer throughout the entire project on site.
Any other comments? Anybody else? Oh, I see a hand up in the back corner.
Only one comment I got to make about this. Why doesn't, with all this scrutiny here, I wish they'd do the same thing for the Chimpanzee Bridge in New York.
Well, Mr. Becker, I don't think this committee has any control over that. But, any other comments or questions? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Wilmot, Councilor Tesorio?
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor DeMasi. Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Tesorero.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes. Item number 5, Michael Bonney, IT technician, is recommending that the city of Oswego standardize all of the city email accounts in Microsoft Office products. Mr. Bonney is requesting the mayor be authorized to sign the contract with Microsoft partner in the amount of $32,250 for a 3-year term. Mr. Bonney?
Evening, councilors. Currently, I should explain our position right now. We are across the board with very different email platforms, very different Office products. We'll go from some people having Office 2007 clear up to others having 2016. The emails range from Outlook, Outlook Express, Live Mail, a web-based one called RoundCube. So it is across the board right now. What this proposal would do would be to standardize us with the Microsoft government-based Exchange Online and the Microsoft Office 365 government-based. That provides for us a lot of opportunity. First of all, everybody's on the same page. Secondly, being in the Microsoft government plan gives us the ability to have compliance archiving with our email, which means basically it is kept in a safe, stored environment by Microsoft for us. It also gives us the ability for encryption for our emails. So we have safe emails that way. Being in the Office 365, that allows us to, across the board with any of our computers that we have, to stay on an updated Office system. Now, that way, we're no longer 2007 to 2016. Everybody is up to date on the same platform. Also, being the Exchange Online, it would allow us to do shared calendars, which we do not have the capability of doing now. Currently, our email system allows us for 500 megabytes per client. The Exchange Online boosts us up to 50 gigabytes per client. So it's quite an increase there as well. There's just a myriad of benefits going to this proposal. It breaks down basically to, for those that will be doing it on a city-based computer, $17 per month. For those that are just going to be using the Exchange Online kiosk, which is, we do have some folks that they don't have a computer, but they do need email. So they do the Exchange Online kiosk. That boils down to $15, or I'm sorry, that boils down to a little different scenario there. $1.50 per month and an additional $2 per month for them so that they too can partake in the compliance archiving. So break it down that way, it's a little easier to swallow.
Any of this budgeted in your budget for last year?
The only thing that was budgeted was for moving to the Exchange for the email only, but when I discussed it with our Microsoft people, they were like, you know, Office 365 is so tied in. I mean, you're using Outlook, which is part of Office 365. It's so tied in and integrated that if you're going to make this kind of a jump, put both feet in. So that's what we're basically looking at.
No money were allocated for
Again, for Outlook, there was. There was around 9,000 for that, a little over 9,000 for that. That would be part of it, yes. Correct.
See, there's a question in the audience.
Any computers that right now use email, because this is all tied to an email client thing, would go to this. And we are right now to the point we're upgraded enough with our computer base that it's not going to require newer computers. Which brings up a good point. Right now, when we buy new computers, we buy the individual Office products with those computers. So we would not have to do that. So right there, you're saving $200 to $300 per computer when we buy those computers.
I think we have a follow-up.
Yes, Office 365 keeps them upgraded. That is an entirely different point.
Another time, another place.
And another person.
Okay, any other comments? I see there's a question over here in the corner.
It isn't actually a question, it's just a comment. There's a user daily that has different emails and different programs and other office staff. It's very frustrating. So if we could all be on the same platform, it would be wonderful in my opinion.
Thank you. Anybody else? One more. All right, one question for me, and we're done. I think I see that the company that you were recommending is a company called Liftoff, which is a reseller.
They are a Microsoft partner.
Microsoft partner,
Right.
basically a reseller. I see in the resolution it says that the city's IT technician has solicited multiple proposals. And I was just wondering, how did those other ones look?
Identical, because you're buying the Microsoft government pricing. You just have to go through a Microsoft partner. So what it boiled down to with the different proposals was what kind of support were they going to give me if I had an issue and was going to call in, or what were they going to... They also offer help with the importing, but that is going to be done in-house anyway, so that was a non-issue, not an expense we needed to take on because we can do it ourselves. So it was that was the difference. You're basically 3 proposals, the same Microsoft price.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yep.
Any other comments? Seeing none, may I have a motion? Councilor Hill? Councilor Zazarino?
Counselor Corradino?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey? Yes. Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Tesarero?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes. Item number 6, Nate Emmons, Director of Rental Assistance Office, requests approval to enter into a contract with Canali Insurance and Accounting for services from March 18th through March 2018 through March 2019. Mr. Emmons is not here to speak to this, but I know he contacted and reached council and explained the situation. It appears that the HUD program does have some stringent requirements as far as their accounting procedures, and Mr. Emmons has contacted Canali Insurance for a quote, and it appears that he got a pretty good price from what Facebook show. comments by the council? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Yes, Councilor Wilmot.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tetzeraro.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
And we need a resolution?
Yes, I'll take care of it. I'll get Mr. Emmons to take care of it. Item number 7, the city clerk's office requests the common council's consideration for a solid waste application from Raleigh Construction Incorporated. The fee of $500 is on file with the city clerk's office for a major hauler. And I know the city clerk reached out to me today, and he couldn't be here, and he did explain what the situation is. This is a standard request from a hauler to have a permit for $500. Did the council have any questions? Anybody else?
Trash.
Yes.
No different than we have.
With Butler or Waste Management, for some reason they're doing it now. I guess it's permitted at the end of March. Matt, any other comments? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Hill.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tetzeraro.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes. Item number 8, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests authorization to accept the engineering design services proposal from EDR for 2 State Route 104 streetscape improvement projects proposed in his 2018 State of the City address and sign the appropriate agreement in the amount of $24,950. I know the mayor's not here. Is there anybody else? Yes, Councilor.
In the mayor's absence, he asked that I speak to this because a major component of this project is contained in the third ward. So the proposal we're looking at is management services for 2 streetscape improvement projects. The first is West Side Project Works in the Road. That will start from Hillside Ave and work up to 3rd Ave. The second project is on the east side. This will be at the triangle-shaped island located at the intersection with East 12th Street and will extend west towards East 10th Street. Funding for both the management of the projects and completion of the projects is already budgeted. The first project has a budget of $150,000, and that's contained in the 5-year capital plan, which was already approved by the council, a previous council. Funding for the management of the project and the $40,000 for the East Side project are provided for in this year's operating budget, and that is in account P1323, known as the initiative account, or it's an account that we use for locally funded projects. So both projects are already funded as well as the already budgeted as well as the management expense. Key elements of the management are essentially complete oversight of the project from start to finish with regular reviews, biweekly status updates, and one of the major things is that the management company will actually work directly with the DOT to get all approvals and work with the city on all of the specifications, go through the whole construction process. It's just a full spectrum offering of services. I think the important thing is that this is one of the major steps we need to take to kind of reinvent the city. Right now, we're shifting kind of the way Oswego operates from a very industrial city that, to be honest, was controlled by interests outside of the interests of the city generally, and now I think we're moving in the right direction. And one of those things is to make the city appealing to visitors, guests, new residents, people that want to live and work in the city, raise a family. So I think this is kind of the public face of that, getting that first step in place so that when people enter the city, those entrance ways are inviting, something that people see and make them want to return to the city. Before we took office as councilors, we all met with Mayor Barlow to go over our priorities during our term as councilor. And one of my major priorities was getting the western gateway to the city improved. Because when you enter from the west, what you see is not an accurate reflection of what we want people to see of the city. So this will help to improve that. There's still a lot of work to be done, and there will still be a lot of work to be done as you get past the portion of the road, but this is a great step to starting that process. And the same goes on the east side, by the east side Dunkin' Donuts. I think it's very important. When we met before I took office, I said we really need to do something with the western entrance of the city, and Mayor Barlow said, just wait till my state of the city. He didn't want to spoil it, but he did say that it was something that he had already considered. Obviously, it was in the capital plan, so it was something that was already a project that he felt to be important. And I'm really excited to be working closely with the mayor and the management company to get this project put into place. I'm happy that he shares the same vision, how important the entranceways of the cities are, and how you can actually sell the city by someone's first impression. So I would ask that council supports this. And, I'm on board, and there's one final thing. The East Side project will effectively restart the Trees for Vets program. There will be at least one tree dedicated to a local veteran and planted as part of that project. So there's been a push by some local residents to get that project restarted, and this will do that.
Can you outline to the public the construction schedule?
Sure. Yeah, it's all scheduled to be completed this year. The construction phase being from September of this year to October of this year. So it's a relatively fast project.
Any other questions? In the corner, one more time.
Look at, they're gonna scarf this bridge, this road here. Okay, is that gonna interfere with it in October?
This is more of the center island,
The center of the road?
lining of the road.
Yep, they're gonna scarf that whole four
Right,
lane.
it'll all be put back. It's all kind of part of a bigger project, bigger picture.
I don't know, the state of New York, I don't know.
Once again, that's beyond our control on this committee.
I'll be out there watching on the porch.
Any other comments or considerations? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Yes.
Counsel Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tetzeraro.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Item number 9, Nancy Stereo, Personnel Director, requests permission to attend New York State Association of Personnel and Civil Service Officers Annual Conference in Syracuse, New York, to be held June 10th through June 13th, 2018.
This is, excuse me, this is the annual conference for all of the civil services statewide. The New York State Department of Civil Service is there. It's 3 days of training, different sessions relating to the civil service portion of my responsibilities. So I would respectfully request permission to attend.
Questions? Request? Councilor Hill.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tetzeraro.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Item number 10, Lieutenant Charles Sear is requesting permission to send one police officer to a mandatory course of police supervision to be held April 9th, 2018 through April 27th, 2018 at the South Bay Police Department in South Bay, New York. Okay?
It's a mandatory training for a supervisor that gets promoted to sergeant. He was supposed to have it last year, but the schedule, there was a conflict, so we got an extension for a year, so we've got to send him this year.
Questions? None? Can I have a motion? Councilor Nancy.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tetzeraro.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Item number 11, Lieutenant Charles Sear is requesting permission to send one police officer to the Defensive Tactics Instructor course to be held June 4th, 2018 through June 15th, 2018 in the South Bay Police Department in Oneida County, New York. Okay?
This is just to enhance our defensive tactics program. We currently have one instructor. Currently, we're looking to enhance it to 2 just to make the program a little bit better and to have, in the event of injuries, illnesses, we have a backup. We have to do defensive tactics training every year, so it's just to ensure that we will have somebody trained to teach and train all of our officers in defensive tactics.
I'd only recommend one thing on this as it goes forward to the full council next week. I just want to point out that this is not being held at the South Bay Police Department, according to the flyer you gave me. South Bay Police Department is not in Oneida County. If you look at the flyer that you attached, it's not South Bay Police Department where this is being held, right?
Let's see. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what happened was a copy and paste. Let me see.
Believe me, I've done that myself. I just want to make sure
So, yeah,
it's
it's
correct
good.
for next
Yeah, it's going to be Oneida County, so you're exactly right. The previous one, so there was just a copy and paste, so I'll have it taken care of
I've done that
for
next myself.
for next week.
So going forward, you'll take care of that.
Yes, sir.
Seeing no other comments or questions, can I have a motion? Councilor Hill, Councilor Tesorial.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Yes. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tetzero.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Item number 12, Lieutenant Charles Sear is requesting permission to send one police officer to the Safe Schools Initiative Seminar to be held at the University of Buffalo, New York, March 19th to 20th, 2018. Okay?
Yeah, this one was we got this last minute, so the mayor was kind enough to let me hurry up and get it on to committee for tonight. Sending our school resource officer to this. We have the past 3 years now. She goes and they have conference over safe schools and how to make this school safer, and all the school resource officers, get together and discuss stuff over the state and how to make it safer for our students in our schools.
Very timely comments.
Yes.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Ferraro, Councilor Hill.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Yes. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Tetzero.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Do we need a resolution?
We'll get it taken care of. Thank you. All right. Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Item number 13, Kevin Caracoli, City Attorney, requests permission to attend a 3-day New York State Conference of Mayors 109th Annual Meeting to be held May 6th through the 8th in Saratoga Springs, New York.
This is the season for training, I guess. And so I had previously provided you with information on the school. Just in today's mail, I got the tentative agenda. This is May 6th through the 8th. It's 3 days, 2 nights. Virtually every topic that's being discussed is relevant to the city of Oswego. I'm just share with you a few of them. Local regulation of small wireless facilities. How well do you understand municipal procurement? Claims and liabilities from problematic public works events. We've had a few of those this winter. Abandoned properties and how to deal with abandoned properties. And then ethics for municipal officers. I don't know that we're going to get into this, so I probably won't attend this one, but there is a course on self-driving cars and what to expect and how to prepare your community to benefit from autonomous vehicles. Yeah, probably go to another session, but certainly asking for your consideration here. This is a budgeted expense. You did approve in the 2018 a training line for the city attorney's office, and I know this does essentially use up virtually all of that allotment. Between Mr. Reynolds and I, we generally try to go year to year. I didn't do any training last year. Mr. Reynolds went to training the year before I did. So and this is a good way to network and gain knowledge and impart some as well. So I would certainly urge your consideration approving this.
Anybody have any questions? Anybody else? Seeing none, can I have a motion?
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Testerero.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
We need a resolution.
Item number 14, Mayor William J. Barlow Jr. requests authorization to sign contract for fireworks for Christmas tree lighting event. Is there anybody that would like to speak? Talk about Christmas tree lighting. I guess I can say a few words. As I did discuss this with the mayor, apparently there is a run on firework companies and doing work during the Christmas season, and you need to get your order in early. So the whole idea is to make sure that we have a company to provide us with fireworks during the Christmas celebration at the end of November. And you see the contract that's in your packet, pretty straightforward as far as the amount, which was page $5,500 for fireworks, which is about the same as it was last year. It is a budgeted amount. And I don't know about anybody here, but I thought they were outstanding last year. So, anybody else have any comments? Yes, Councilor.
Literally, there's a $250 discount. I think that's one of the reasons why we've been there.
Well, if you read the date for the discount was for March 1st.
Right. I think they may be extending.
Are they going to extend it?
Because he mentioned that in our meeting.
Even better.
Yes.
I love a deal.
So a little savings.
All right, so it looks like it's going to be 50-50. Any other comments? Seeing none, can I have a motion? Councilor Tesorial, Councilor DeMasi.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMasi. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Testerero.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
We need a resolution.
We need a resolution. I'm sure the mayor's office would love to do that. I believe that's the last item on the Administrative Services Committee. Before we close this committee out, I want to wish all my fellow councilors and the public happy St. Louis Day. With that comment, I need a motion to adjourn. Councilor Hill, Councilor Tesorio.
Counselor Corradino.
Yes.
Counselor DeMasi. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Testerero.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to call the Physical Services Committee meeting for March 19th to order. Please call the roll.
Counselor Hill.
Here.
Counselor Wilmot.
Here.
Counselor DeMasi. Counselor Goza.
Here.
May I please have a motion to approve the minutes of March 5th, 2008? Councilor Wilmot? Goza.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor DeMasi. Counselor Goza.
Yes.
Is there any old business to come before this committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Under authorizations, number 1, the engineer's office received a request for a landfill permit submitted by Circle T Motorsports LLC in order to landfill on property they own at 300 East Albany Street.
This is, Circle T is Oswego Speedway, and they've got a problem out there with, they park on the lawn and they have campgrounds on the lawns, and it doesn't support the vehicles when it gets wet. So what they're looking to do is push off the topsoil and bring in gravel to support the vehicles, something that'll compress nicely, and put back a couple inches of topsoil so it looks the same as it did, but it'll support cars. When he has a lot of cars out there and it got wet, they had 50 towings, but you know, campers, cars, and some cars got damaged. So that's what this permit is for.
Water runoff, no issue, or
Yeah, that's the existing contours will be the finished contours. If anything, I think it'll help the runoff, but he's looking to do 2 sections, one on the north side of Albany Street, one on the south side. The section on the south side of Albany Street, it currently pitches down to Wine Creek, and it will continue to pitch down to Wine Creek without affecting any other properties. The portion on the south side of Albany Street, pitches down to a drainage gutter that runs down and into Wine Creek, and there's virtually no impact to other properties with these two projects. So those are the two areas in question.
Any other questions?
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Number 2, Thomas Kells, DPW Commissioner, received a request from Kyle Beckman on behalf of the Oswego YMCA for use of public space in Chris and Foley Rink to hold their YMCA summer camp program. Is there anyone here to speak?
Thank you. I'm Kyle Bachman from the YMCA. I'm our summer camp director and our school-age child care coordinator. Basically, we requested to use the Chris Foley ice arena this year for our summer camp. Last year we were at the middle school. Kind of got stuck in a situation where we only had one room, an outdoor space, and with all the available space over there at the ice arena, I think it's a nice opportunity to help facilitate that arena into something that might not be used for in its intended purpose. Give our kids an opportunity to get outside. The pool's right there. Lots of indoor space for physical play when the weather's not so conducive to going outside as well.
I think one of the Gary Webb with the Oswego Y, I think one of the other things that we really think the addresses is a lot of the children that attend our summer camp. This is also close to their neighborhoods of home, so transportation is always something that in the past has been an issue. And I think that this allows camp to be walkable for some families. It also cuts down on transportation time for some families. And again, it opens up for the kids the opportunities that's offered by their city in their city.
Any questions from council? Any other questions? Take a motion, please.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Thank you
Number
very
3,
much.
Thomas Kells, DPW Commissioner, received a request from Dan Connolly on behalf of Oswego Youth Lacrosse for use of the rinks for the month of April 2018.
Excuse me, Mr. Conley couldn't come, so he asked me to come. I'm Nick Canale, board member of the Oswego Lacrosse Club. We'd like to use the rink during April because it's too muddy to go outside, and whenever we've gone into the gyms in the schools, it's just not conducive to playing lacrosse in there and practicing. So it helps us out a lot to be able to get into the rink.
I assume Commissioner Kells support this as well?
Thank you. There's more conflict, the more we can use these facilities, the better. 100%.
Any questions from the council?
It's just a quick question. I know that Y provides disability insurance.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions? Take a motion, please. Councilor Wilmot.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Gozick.
Yes.
Item number 4, Thomas Kells, DPW Commissioner, received a request from Brian Wilson for use of public space at Bright Beck Park for a wedding ceremony to be held August 18, 2018. Any questions from the council?
I just wanted to point out just a clerical thing. The resolution as typed up, normally the resolution that we have in our packet is what goes on to the full council. Nowhere on this page does it have the date. The date of August 18th is on our cover sheet for this
Counselor Gozik?
Yes.
Item number 5, Thomas Kells, DPW Commissioner, received a request from Michael Connerton on behalf of the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation to place a small chest freezer at Wright's Landing Fish Cleaning Station from April 1st to September 1st, 2018, to collect samples of coho salmon caught in Lake Ontario. Commissioner, is there anything you want to add to that, or?
They're asking for something, we should just comply with them. That's up to you guys. I'm 100% something we should do.
Any questions? Can I get a motion, please? Councilor Gozik, Councilor DeMasi.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey? Counselor Gozik?
Yes.
Item number 6, Thomas Kells, DPW Commissioner, received a request from Trish Levine on behalf of the Oswego YMCA for use of public space in Brightbeck Park to hold fitness classes on Tuesday and Thursday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and on Monday, Wednesday from 5 p.m. In the event of rain and pending availability, the pavilion will be utilized. I don't see Levine here, but she did reach out to me, sent me detailed information. They have used the space in the past and would like to use it as they have in the past. Are there any questions? Okay, can I take a motion, please?
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey? Counselor Gozik?
Yes.
Item number 7, Justin Rudgick, Community Development Director, received a request from Mary Kay Stone with the Friends of Fort Ontario for the Vemelmans Festival, Madeline, in Oswego, to be held on Saturday, June 2nd, 2018, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Fort Ontario Complex. Is there anyone here to speak to this? Again, this is a recurring event. I did speak with Mr. Rudgick about it. He had no concerns. I know that some on the council actually attended some of the events last year. It's a great piece of history. Another item we can kind of add to our arsenal of things to address. Any questions or comments from the council? Okay, could I take a motion, please? Gozik, Councilor DeMassey.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey? Counselor Gozik?
Yes.
And we need a resolution.
We do have one add-on item. The city has received a request from Tim Carroll for use of public space. Mr. Carroll is requesting space in front of the Brick Bar on West Bridge Street on Sunday, April 8, 2018, from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. He wishes to set up a 10 by 10 tent and a few tables to distribute chicken dinners. It's a fundraising event for Pat Burke, owner of the Brick Bar, to help with medical expenses. I believe Mr.
Hi, I'm Tim Carroll, and I want to thank the city clerk and you guys for helping me bring this up today. There was a kind of mix-up with emails that Tress and I went back and forth with, went to her spam folder, so this was a little delayed getting here. Thank you for allowing me to bring it up today. This is a request for use of public space in front of the Brick Bar for a benefit for Pat Burke. Pat is a lifelong Oswego resident, graduate of the Old Cat High, I believe 1970 or 71. Had a stroke a couple days before Christmas and just got out of hospital and rehab a couple weeks ago. He still has, his right side is still severely compromised, and his insurance did not cover a lot of the medical bills in the rehab stay that he had, the extended rehab stay he had. So again, we would like to have this benefit Sunday, April 8th in front of the Brick Bar. It says they'll be setting up a 10 by 10 tent to distribute the dinners. The dinners will be cooked off-site and transported here by Mr. Mike's in Fulton. The main reason for using public space is, I don't know if any of you have been in the Brick Bar, it's a fairly small facility, so we wanted to be able to free up some space upstairs for the, the patrons of the benefit. I guess that's it. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey? Counselor Gozik?
Yes.
Is there any other business to come before this committee? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Counselor Hill?
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot?
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey? Counselor Gozik?
Yes.